All right, make sure you have the note sheet in front of you that says solve equations with grouping symbol notes. Put your name on it, put your name here. So this is how we can go through and look at examples, and you're going to do the examples with me as your notes for today. So grouping symbols, this means parentheses. Parentheses are grouping symbols. So those are just parentheses. Okay? So when we have parentheses, they tell us that we are going to be multiplying. So parentheses mean multiply. We're going to try an example. We're going to start with number 1. So it says 3 times the quantity x minus 2 equals 6. So what I like to do is we do the parentheses are first, and parentheses mean multiply. So we take 3 times x, and we get 3x. We take 3 times 2, and we get 6. And then in the middle, we have a minus, and it stays a minus on this one. So we have 3 times x, 3x. 3 times 2, 6. And it stays minus this time, equals 6. And now we solve. We have to do plus 6. These cancel. 6 plus 6 is 12. And then our next step is we divide by 3. 3 divided by 3 cancels. X equals 4. Now, if you're getting stuck on the multiplying and the dividing, make sure you go get a calculator. Okay, calculators can help us. I can pull up my calculator here just in case I need it in a second. Okay, now we're going to do the next example. So this time I have 5 times the quantity of 2x plus 1 equals 15. Parentheses mean multiply, so we're going to multiply. So we're going to do 5 times 2, and if you need to, get out the calculator. 5 times 2 is 10, so I get 10x. And then I'm going to do 5 times 1 is 5. These are positive, so it's plus, equals 15. And now we go back to what we've been doing. To move the 5, I have to say minus 5, minus 5, cancel. On this side, I copy down 10x equals 15 minus 5 is 10. And now I divide. 10 divided by 10 is just 1x. 10 divided by 10 is 1. So my answer is x equals 1. Okay, now the next one, we're going to do again. This time we have to be careful because we now have a negative 3. So this one is different because it has a negative 3. I still have the quantity of x minus 4, and that means I'm going to multiply because I have parentheses. So I'm going to take negative 3 times x. That gives me negative 3x. And now I'm going to take negative 3 times a minus 4. So you have a negative and a negative. You have two signals. So that becomes plus 12. It's plus because you have two signals. Equals 12. Okay, now we go back to what we've been doing. I minus 12. This side cancels, and I copy down negative 3x equals 12 minus 12. It's just 0. And then I have to divide by negative 3. Negative 3 divided by negative 3 is 1, so I get 1x equals 0 divided by anything is just 0. So my answer is 0. All right. Now let's look at the next ones. How are these down here? So how is number 4 different than number 3? The only thing different is I changed the sides. So now this time the parenthesis is on the right instead of the left. But we're still going to multiply. So since I have parentheses, I still have to multiply. So this time I just copy this side, negative 12 equals 4 times 1x is 4x. 4 times 2 is 8. They're both positive, so it's plus. Okay, now my variable is x right here. So that means I have to move the 8. So I'm going to do minus 8 and minus 8. Minus 12 and minus 8. Well, they're both negative, so I'm actually going to add. And if you're using the calculator, it's 12 minus 8, and it gives you negative 20. Because when the signs are the same and you're adding them, you add them and you keep the negative. And on this side, what happens to my 8 and my minus 8? Well, they're going to cancel. And I have equals 4x. And now my next step is I have 4x, so that means I have to divide by 4. 4 divided by 4 cancels. I get 1x equals 20 divided by 4 is 5, but I have one signal, so it's negative 5. Or if I use my calculator, I can take negative 20, divide by 5, and I get negative 4. Okay, let's try another one. So again, this side, my parentheses is over here. So I'm going to copy the 20. 20 equals. Now this time I have negative 2 times 3. So that's going to give me negative 6x because there's only one signal. One signal when you multiply is negative. And then I have 2 times 1, just 2. And I have negative and positive. So I have one signal, so it's negative. Okay. Then I have to say, here's my letter. So I'm going to do plus 2 on this side and plus 2 on this side. Cancel. 20 plus 2 is 22 equals negative 6x. And now I have to divide by negative 6. And I'm going to have to use my calculator. This one will be a decimal. So I know that these cancel, so it's x equals. I'm going to use my calculator. 22 divided by 6 negative is, okay. So how can I write that? I'm going to write that as negative 3, whoops, where did it go? 0.6 with a line. Because that line means that it's 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, 6, lots of 6s repeating. Okay. Now, let's try one more. So again, my parentheses are over here. So I'm going to say 44 equals, now I have to multiply. 4 times 6 is 24x. I have one signal, so it's negative. Then I take 4 times 1 is 4. I have one signal, so it's minus. And now I solve. To solve, I'm going to have to move the 4. The opposite of minus is plus 4. Plus 4. 44 plus 4 is 48 equals negative 24x. And then I'm going to divide by negative 24. These two cancel, so x equals. So now I have 48 divided by 24 negative is negative 2. All right, so now you're going to use these examples and you're going to go to Canvas and you're going to try the problems that I have on Canvas. Okay, so go back to Canvas and you're going to find the practice, and the practice is going to say solve equations with grouping symbols. So this is the practice that you need to look for. You can find it in quizzes or you can go back to the module and keep going through the module. Okay, keep working hard.